My crazy mother-in-law stole my family heirloom earrings and my husband took her side. That's when I finally grew a backbone and stood up to them both. It all started when my mother-in-law, who has a history of kleptomania, visited us for lunch. My husband, without my permission, let her borrow my family heirloom earrings for her upcoming 2-week holiday. When I found out, I snapped at him and demanded she return them immediately, or else I would call the police. However, he informed me that she had already left the country, and there was nothing I could do. My husband kept trying to convince me that everything was okay, that his mother wouldn't lose or damage the earrings, and that I was overreacting. He even said it wasn't like I wore those earrings often anyway, so what was the big deal if they weren't around for 2 weeks? I stood there, feeling extremely down, while my husband offered to order takeout to help my mood. I felt pathetic on the inside. This was the man who was supposed to care for me and protect me, yet here he was, treating me like my feelings didn't matter. My husband, desperate to bail her out, called me for help. He poured his heart out, claiming I was the love of his life, and that this was a moment when spouses should support each other. I pretended to care, extracting all the details about her arrest. Then, I couldn't hold back my laughter. I told him that I would never give her a dime and that he was talking to a new, confident me, not the scared woman who once did everything to please him and his mother. I was now a woman who pursued her passions, valued herself, and knew she deserved to be treated like a queen. His response was to call me his queen, but I reminded him that he had treated me like a peasant while he acted like a king. I told my husband I was going to take a shower to think about this and asked him to give me some space. He told me to hurry up because he was hungry and wanted to get the takeout ASAP. I went to the shower, sat on the toilet with the water running, and simply broke down. I couldn't take it anymore. It was painful sitting alone, sobbing with snot running down my nose, realizing my husband wasn't the man I thought he was, but it was also the most necessary moment of my life. I thought about little me, the girl who always wanted to meet her Prince Charming, the man who would make her feel special. I felt like I had let her down. But amidst all the emotion and pain, I started feeling a sense of pride and confidence that I had never felt before. I began to think about all the things my mother-in-law had done to me in the past and how my husband had glossed over them. Like when she stole $7 from me, and my husband told me not to make a big deal out of a few bucks. Or when she ruined our engagement party by making me cry and telling me to pick a big dress because I wouldn't fit into a normal one. Anger rushed over me. I wiped my tears and exited the bathroom. My husband immediately asked me what took so long because he was starving and wanted to order food. I looked at him and said, "I want a divorce." He immediately piped up, telling me to think rationally and not emotionally, and not to let emotions get in the way of a decision. He asked if I was really willing to throw everything we had, all our love, away over a pair of earrings. In that moment, I saw him for what he truly was, a manipulator. He was gaslighting me about how I should feel after my family heirloom was stolen, even though he had given permission. Halfway through his monologue, the old me wanted to give in. His sweet talk, his words of affirmation, how he called me pretty girl during an argument to get me to let my guard down and be open to his manipulation. I was so close to backing down, forgiving him, and moving on like nothing had happened. But not this time. I stayed true to that newfound strong woman I discovered within myself in that bathroom and stood my ground. I told my husband I was completely over everything, and there was nothing he could say or do to change my mind. I exploded on him. I must have talked for half an hour straight, letting out every ounce of emotion I had ever held in about our relationship and his mother. I was crying by the end of it, and when I looked into his eyes, I could tell he wasn't understanding anything I was saying. It was as if it was going in one ear and out the other. We went to bed without speaking for the rest of the day. The next day, I saw his true colors. He made me a cup of coffee, which I accepted out of courtesy, and asked if I was done being stupid and was willing to move on. That was the final nail in the coffin. I told him no, I was not willing to move on, and that I meant every word I said the previous day. He didn't like this answer at all and absolutely snapped. He slammed the kitchen door, grabbed the cup of coffee out of my hands and poured it down the drain, yelling that I was completely out of line for wanting to leave him, and that we had gone through worse things before. He was right, we had, but only because I was naive and dumb. When he started angrily punching the wall, I began packing my bags to leave. He tried to stop me and I was terrified. He had never lifted a finger against me before, but I had never defied him in any way, so I didn't know what to expect. I told him that if he didn't let me leave immediately, I would call the police. He moved out of the way when I said that, but as I was exiting through the door, he pressed his body against mine. I scrambled away, and as I left, I heard him yell that his mother was right about me all along. I'm currently at my sister's house. She knows the entire situation. I will be filing for divorce and reporting my mother-in-law for theft. I don't know if I have any legal grounds to stand on, but I will try. Update 1: I haven't contacted a divorce lawyer yet, because the same night I went to my sister's house, my husband paid us a visit. He knew where I was going since my sister is the only real family I have and lives close by. He tried to sweet-talk my sister into opening the door for him, but I had informed her of the situation, so she didn't answer. That's when things got extremely tense, and he started trying to physically barge the door open. My sister and I were terrified, so we called the police with zero hesitation. He was gone by the time they showed up, but we gave a statement nonetheless. I also informed the police about my mother-in-law taking my earrings. What shocked me was that something could actually be done about her taking my earrings, partly because she has a criminal record for theft. Legal actions and advice. Or consult with a divorce lawyer. It's crucial to get immediate legal advice to understand your rights and options. Gather all documentation related to your marriage, finances, and any incidents involving your husband and mother-in-law. This includes texts, emails, and photos of any physical damage. Consider discussing with your lawyer the possibility of obtaining a restraining order against your husband to ensure your safety. File a police report. Since your mother-in-law has a criminal record, file a police report about the theft of your earrings. Provide any evidence or documentation you have about the heirlooms and the theft. Also, report your husband's attempt to force entry into your sister's house. This incident can be crucial in establishing a pattern of behavior. Secure your belongings and finances. Ensure your personal belongings and valuables are secure. Consider keeping them in a safe place, such as a trusted friend's or family member's home. Open a separate bank account if you haven't already and monitor your accounts for any unauthorized transactions. Seek emotional support. Find counseling or therapy to help you process what you've been through and support your mental health during this challenging time. Lean on your sister and other trusted friends and family members for emotional support. Joining a support group for people going through divorce or dealing with domestic issues can also be beneficial. Preparing for the future. Living arrangements. Make arrangements for where you will stay in the short and long term. Your sister's place is a good temporary solution, but consider more permanent options. Develop a safety plan in case your husband or mother-in-law attempts to contact or confront you again. This can include having emergency contacts ready, knowing safe places to go, and having a packed bag in case you need to leave quickly. Legal proceedings. Work with your lawyer to file for divorce and address issues such as the division of property, spousal support, and any other relevant matters. If you have children, discuss custody arrangements with your lawyer to ensure their best interests are prioritized. Taking these steps can help protect yourself and start building a new, safer life. Remember, your safety and well-being are the top priorities. It's a tough journey, but standing up for yourself and reclaiming your life is a powerful and necessary step. When my soon-to-be ex-husband tried to break into my sister's house, it set off a chain of events that would lead me to reclaim my life and self-worth. It has been a roller coaster of emotions, revelations, and confrontations, but I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. It all started when my husband, who I once thought was my soulmate, was revealed to have a dark side. My sister and I discovered he had a criminal past, including a stint in prison during his 20s for attempting to steal an expensive watch. This revelation was both shocking and terrifying. We were scared and decided to sleep with weapons by our bedsides in case he tried to return in the middle of the night. A week after the break-in attempt, he started sending me cryptic messages in a bid to win me back. These messages ranged from hand-drawn pictures of my favorite flowers to poorly written love poems, and even a badly photoshopped picture of my name tattooed on his wrist. His mother also got involved, threatening to throw away my beloved earrings if I didn't take him back. This hurt deeply, but I took screenshots and informed the police, ready to charge her with destruction of property if necessary. Standing up to him and his mother was daunting. There were moments I felt like giving up and returning to my old life because fighting for myself felt too scary. However, my sister's support was unwavering, reminding me not to fall for his manipulation. She was my rock, always there to encourage and protect me. 6 months later, the nightmare was nearly over. The divorce was in its final stages, and I was finally starting to feel free. During this time, my kleptomaniac mother-in-law couldn't keep her hands to herself. She was on holiday when she spotted an expensive coat she couldn't afford. When my husband refused to give her money for it, she decided to steal it. She managed to rip off the tag without being seen, but her luck ran out when the police arrived at her hotel room and arrested her. My husband, desperate to bail her out, called me for help. He poured his heart out, claiming I was the love of his life and that this was a moment when spouses should support each other. I pretended to care, extracting all the details about her arrest. Then, I couldn't hold back my laughter. I told him that I would never give her a dime and that he was talking to a new, confident me, not the scared woman who once did everything to please him and his mother. I was now a woman who pursued her passions, valued herself, and knew she deserved to be treated like a queen. His response was to call me his queen, but I reminded him that he had treated me like a peasant while he acted like a king. My sister listened in on the call, and after I hung up, she gave me a massive hug, calling me a savage for my response. It turns out my husband did have the money to bail his mother out, and he did so. She wanted to visit me, but he told her it was a bad idea. I found it amusing that he was finally standing up to her. Regarding my earrings, I managed to get them back. When my mother-in-law returned to the country and was arrested, I went to the police station where my earrings were safely kept. She tried to claim they were hers, but my husband confirmed they were mine to avoid further legal trouble for her. Seeing him finally stick up for me was laughable. I attended her sentencing in court, which was a bittersweet moment. She threw a fit upon receiving her sentence and had to be calmed down. My husband looked utterly defeated, unable to meet my eyes. Afterward, he stopped trying to contact me, begging for an amicable divorce instead. This journey has transformed me. I've become more confident, and people at work even comment that I'm glowing. Although I'm about to be officially single, I love exploring and finding myself after spending the better part of a decade in someone else's shadow. My sister has been my unwavering support, and I love her more than life itself. Reflecting on everything, I realize how far I've come. The early days were filled with fear and uncertainty, but now I stand as a stronger, more confident woman. My husband's attempts to win me back with manipulative messages only strengthened my resolve to move on. His mother's involvement, trying to coerce me with threats, showed the lengths they would go to maintain control over me. But I was done being controlled. I remember the anxiety of waiting for the next message, the fear of him showing up unannounced. My sister and I prepared ourselves for the worst, but we also found strength in each other. She reminded me of my worth, encouraging me to stand firm. The divorce process was arduous, but each step brought me closer to freedom. The final confrontation with my husband, where I told him about my newfound strength and confidence, was a turning point. No longer would I be the scared woman living in his shadow. I was reclaiming my life, my passions, and my self-worth. My mother-in-law's arrest and the courtroom drama were almost surreal. Watching her face the consequences of her actions was cathartic. It was a reminder that justice, in some form, does come around. Getting my earrings back felt like regaining a piece of myself that had been taken away. Now, as I approach the end of this chapter, I feel a sense of peace and empowerment. My workplace recognition of my newfound glow is a testament to the inner transformation I've undergone. I look forward to exploring life as a single woman, discovering new hobbies, and continuing to grow. Through it all, my sister has been my steadfast ally. Her unwavering support has been a beacon of hope and strength. I cherish our bond and know that we can face anything together. This journey has been a testament to resilience, self-discovery, and the power of standing up for oneself. It's been a reminder that we are worthy of love and respect, and that we have the strength to overcome even the most challenging situations. Moving forward, I embrace my new life with confidence, knowing that I am capable of achieving happiness and fulfillment on my terms.